Hello, my name is Dr. Melissa Joe, and I'm the Assistant Director for the School of Nursing, and I have the privilege of overseeing our undergraduate nursing programs. And I have some really exciting news to share with you. We are about to launch a brand new admissions process for the School of Nursing, and I'm going to tell you all about that in this short presentation. Okay. So the big change is that we are going to start doing what is referred to as holistic admissions for the students that are applying for the fall of 2025. So holistic admissions consists of three major categories: experience, attributes, and metrics. And historically, the School of Nursing, like many other nursing schools, has focused primarily on metrics. And this primarily has been the GPA for prerequisite courses, as well as standardized testing, such as the TEAS tests. But as of the fall 2025 applying group, we are no longer going to require the TEAS test. So this presentation is going to I'll be walking you through each one of these components and also highlighting what's changing from our current process or our previous admissions process into what's going to be in effect starting right now with the class that's going to be, or students that are applying for the fall of 2025. So what's changing? Previously, as I mentioned, we took into consideration the prerequisite GPA that both of this for the science courses, the science prerequisite courses, as well as the GE or non-science prerequisite courses. We also required previously the TEAS test, which is a critical thinking test. Now, as of the fall 2025, for that group, the TEAS test is no longer going to be required. So that's a major change. If you're applying for the fall of 2025, we do not require the TEAS test. Now, having said that, there are many other nursing schools that are still using the TEAS test. So if you're applying to other programs, please do check to see what the requirements are going to be for their program. So we will still require the prerequisite courses, and those can be found on the website. I'll also be going over them in just a few minutes. We also, as if you remember what I just referred to in terms of the attributes and experience component, we previously were not taking into consideration the attributes or experience of our applicants, but we're going to be evaluating both of those areas. And I'm going to talk about that specifically as we go through this presentation. Specifically for the attributes, we're going to be using the Casper assessment. And then for experience, we're going to be looking at community engagement in the interview as well as a written component, which I will explain when I get to that part of the presentation. So first, let's talk about metrics. Some important things to keep in mind when applying to the School of Nursing before I get really into the metrics, is that you want to make sure you're applying to the correct program. So for students who are currently at Cal State Long Beach as pre-nursing majors, you are already admitted to Cal State Long Beach. So you're not going to be applying to the university because you're already here. So for transfer students, students that are not currently Cal State Long Beach students, you're going to need to apply via Cal State Apply. And so when you do that, you'll have to select a major, and the major that you want to select is Nursing BS, Bachelor of Science. You don't want to select the major that says Nursing BS Registered Nurse because that major is intended for students who have completed their associate degree in nursing at a community college and are eligible for RN licensure. That pathway is for students who, again, have their associate degree in nursing and just need to take the 7 nursing courses that are required to get your bachelor's degree at Cal State Long Beach. But that's a different set of students. So if you fall into the category of being an associate degree of nursing student who's going to be eligible for RN licensure through your community college, this particular program that I'm referring to is not for you. So please contact the School of Nursing. You need to look at the RN to BSN program. Okay. So having said that, just a reminder to make sure you apply to the correct program if you are going to be a transfer student, if you are a transfer student. But and let me go over the metrics now. The science prerequisite courses are very typical of nursing programs. We do accept online courses with online labs. The first is anatomy and physiology. And so that can be as a separate anatomy with a lab course and then a separate physiology with a lab course, or it can be a combined course. Some schools offer anatomy and physiology like part A one semester and then anatomy and physiology B the second semester. It needs to be the total of at least 4 units, either a combined course for 2 semesters or 1 semester of anatomy with lab and 1 semester of physiology. We also require microbiology with a lab. And again, that's a minimum of a 4 unit class with a lab. Let me also talk about, sorry, I'm going to talk about the chemistry requirement as well. That's our other science prerequisite course. So we do require chemistry with a lab, and that's 4 to 5 semester units. And we require a course in chemistry that is not a preparatory course. So we do not want a chem prep type of course. We want to make sure that you have a course in general, organic, inorganic, or biochemistry, allied health chemistry, or integrated chemistry with a lab that meets this criterion. And so chemistry courses that from community colleges that articulate to CSULB, Chem 111A, 111B, 112A, 112B, 140, 220A, or 220B are acceptable if your course from your community college articulates. And we suggest using assist.org to check whether the articulation exists. For those classes that you took, the chemistry course that you took at your community college, or actually other courses, your science courses, if those courses are in assist.org as part of the articulation agreement, which means that we accept the comparable course at your community college. For students who are at Cal State Long Beach, you can reach out to our College of Health and Human Services, or CHHS, advising office. They have drop-in hours. And so if you go to the Cal State Long Beach website, you can just type in the search box, CHHS advising, and that will take you to their page. And you can find out their hours for advising and get help that way. That's for Cal State Long Beach students. For other students outside of the university, transfer students, please do refer to assist.org to check on the articulation agreement for your specific courses. Okay, so let's talk about the non-science prerequisite courses, and that is statistics or AP statistics with at least a score of 3, oral communication, written communication or college composition, and critical thinking. Those are the non-science prerequisite courses that we require for our program. So going on to attributes, how are we going to measure something like attributes? Well, we are now going to be requiring students to take the Casper assessment. Casper is a situational judgment test that measures different personal and professional skills that we believe are important for student success as well as to practice in the profession of nursing. And so the Casper is going to help us to complement other tools that we'll use for applicant review and evaluation. And we're going to require Casper as part of our effort to enhance the fairness and objectivity of our selection process. If you go to the School of Nursing website, you can find information on how to sign up for the test, how to sign up for Casper, and then links to Acuity Insight and Casper resources. Acuity Insight is the company that administers the Casper assessment. There's also a link there, acuityinsights.app/Casper, and that will also take you to the Casper site where there are wonderful resources where you can learn more about the exam, what to expect. There's also an hour-long recorded webinar that's designed specifically for applicants to give you a more comprehensive explanation about the Casper assessment. And I highly encourage you to go and check that out. So the great news is you can't study for Casper. It's a situational judgment test, meaning you're going to be presented with real life examples, and you'll have to respond to either in a written or a video format to the prompt that is based on that real life scenario. But you can prepare in terms of knowing what to expect. So that's why I encourage you to go to the Casper site, watch the webinar, look through their resources. And I think there's also a practice assessment that you can take there to give you a better sense of what to expect. We've also been warned, and I'm passing this warning on to you, that to beware of scams and third-party companies that are out there wanting to make money off of students that are taking the Casper test. There's not approved study courses or workshops out there for this. So please don't fall into anyone trying to scam you to take a course like a review course. Okay, everything you need to know is going to be found on the Casper site when you go to sign up for the test. Or rather, before you sign up for the test, you can find resources there to familiarize yourself with the process. So your Casper assessment is reviewed by professionals from outside of the School of Nursing. And these individuals have received training on implicit bias and to know how to evaluate attributes such as empathy, problem solving, resilience, and self-awareness. And the students are you'll receive a general quartile ranking score based on the pool of applicants that are taking the exam in that particular cohort. And the School of Nursing will receive a more comprehensive, specific result profile for each applicant. And you may only test once during an admission period. And that score will be the report will be sent to the School of Nursing as long as you select the School of Nursing as the school, your distribution school, when you sign up for the Casper assessment. Let's talk about experience. How are we going to measure this? And also, when are we going to measure experience of our applicants? So I've talked before already about the GPA and Casper. So all of the applicants to our program will be evaluated based on GPA and their Casper scores. And out of that pool, we'll come up with the finalists based on the Casper and GPA results. And those finalists, anywhere between 120 to approximately 160, will be ranked as the top finalists, and they will be invited to campus for the interview stage of admissions. And the finalists are going to be asked to submit a written statement that's going to describe their community engagement and other work-life experiences that demonstrate School of Nursing core values, such as excellence, respect, integrity, innovation, inclusion, and caring. And additional evaluation of the individual's attributes and community engagement will take place during the interview. So again, if you're invited to be a finalist for the interview, you'll be asked specifically, you'll be given instructions at that time, what we will need, what to submit in writing. We'll give you all the guidelines for that. And then at the interview, we'll be doing various things in the interview, but one of the things will be evaluating applicants on what they shared with us before about their community engagement and experiences. So for this application cycle, we're going to be looking for applicants who have been engaging within their community or communities within the past 2 years in meaningful ways. And this could include things like volunteering with an at-risk youth program, serving in a leadership role for an organization or campus club, maybe helping as a caregiver for a family or a neighbor, that sort of thing. And so these are just a few examples, and there are hundreds of other possibilities out there. And we're not looking for someone, I know some of you just really want us to say, here are the 10 things, pick one of these things, but we intentionally are not doing that because we are not interested in individuals who want to check off a box. We want individuals who genuinely are striving to make a difference in their communities and for alignment with the School of Nursing core values. So in a sense, actually, it should be rather freeing to know that we're looking for more than just someone who logged, X number of hours at these particular places on this list. We want to see, how have you been engaging in trying to make this world a better place for the people that you are working with and living with, okay? Okay, this is just another reminder to apply to the proper program. Again, if you're coming as a transfer student, you're going to apply for the Bachelor of Science, the traditional basic BSN. You can also apply as a second degree bachelor student, but you can also, but you'll be transferring into that particular major. Okay. And again, Cal State Long Beach students, pre-nursing majors and people here at Cal State Long Beach don't need to go through Cal State Applied because you are already here as a student. You just need to do the Cal State Long Beach supplemental application, which can be found and accessed through our website at the School of Nursing website. And again, that second number 2 is for students who have already completed an associate degree of nursing program, separate program totally from this. So if that is you, if you're an RN to BSN student, this is not the right program for you. Please visit our website for information on the RN to BSN program. So let me go over just some frequently asked questions, and I'll give you also the email where you can contact us in case I don't cover your question in this presentation or in our FAQ time. So one question you might be asking, and that actually came out during our live info session today, our online, our virtual info session. Does the School of Nursing require health or medical experience? And we do not require health or medical experience to apply to the program. If applicants have had health or medical experience, like a paid or volunteer type of experience, maybe as a CNA or a PCA, or you're volunteering in a hospital, if you're selected as a finalist, then you can write about your health/medical experiences as your way of, engaging in the community in that pre-interview process. But that person that has that type of experience is not going to be given more credit or weight than a non-medical experience or community engagement. So while that can count for some of that community engagement, it's not, one, required, and two, it's not going to give you additional points per se for that. Okay, so just going to run through these questions. Are withdrawals or W's counted against students? No, they are not. Do we require nursing CAS, which is an application system that some schools around the country use? We do not use nursing CAS. Do we offer an accelerated program? We do not offer an accelerated program. We do, however, in our undergraduate program, have 2 pathways. So we are a 5-semester undergraduate program. We have one pathway, the semester pathway, that goes fall and spring semesters only. And then we have the trimester program or pathway, which goes fall, spring, and summers. So you finish a little bit sooner because you do your 5 semesters, including summer. So those are the only way that's the only kind of semi-accelerated pathway that we have. We don't have the truly accelerated where you finish in 30 weeks or something like that. Can you help with the Cal State Apply application? We do not oversee this application, so please contact University Admissions if you have a question about Cal State Apply. Are transcripts submitted to the School of Nursing? No, they are not. Transcripts are to be submitted to Enrollment Services when you are asked for them, and they are not to be sent to the School of Nursing because we do not evaluate transcripts. Last question on this page, this slide. If I am not accepted into a pre-nursing major as a first-time freshman from high school, can I change my major? You can try to enter as undeclared if not admitted as pre-nursing, and then the University Center for Undergraduate Advising, or UCUA, will help you to go over requirements on how to switch to pre-nursing. So that is that question. Other questions? What is the average cost of the program? You can go to our website, which is csulb.edu, and you can search tuition, and it should bring up this data for you. This is for this semester. Part-time students, which is 0 to 6 units, is the tuition and fees are $2,411. And for full-time, which is 7 units and above, it's $36, almost $3,700 per semester for full-time. Second question, can I take statistics as pass, no pass, or do I need a letter grade? This goes for any course, not just statistics. You cannot take it pass, no pass, or credit, no credit. You need to take your courses for a letter grade in order for us to calculate that into your GPA. Next question, if we are going to be enrolled in the last of required prerequisite classes in the fall of 2024. When should I apply to the nursing program? In other words, can you still have some GE courses in progress when applying? The answer is you need to finish your courses, but you can apply for the fall 2025, which opens this October, because you will finish your courses at the end of fall, and then you will have your final grades in time to submit the supplemental application for your separate School of Nursing application, which is not due until February 1st, 2025. So if you are finishing your last prerequisite courses, you could potentially apply to Cal State Apply as a transfer student, and then your supplemental application, you could submit that once you have your final grades in. Okay, let's see. Let's have I think just one more slide for other questions. Is there a way to meet with someone at Cal State Long Beach to inquire about the nursing program and what steps to take, even if we are not attending the school currently? Unfortunately, we are not able to do individualized tours or advising. The university itself receives thousands of applications from prospective nursing students each year, and so it's not possible for us to do individualized appointments. But if you do have specific questions, we do refer you to our website. But if you have specific questions about information that you find there, please send them to that address there, nursing@csulb.edu. Next question, how long do we wait to hear about getting off of the wait list? And so the wait list is really the alternate list. So we admit anywhere from 75 to 80 students per semester in the fall and the spring. We do also take anywhere from 20 to 35 or so students on what we call the alternate list. So these are students who didn't rank high enough to be given admission right off from the beginning. But if students on the admitted list decline admission for whatever reason, they took a spot in another school or they moved out of the area, whatever, then they would decline their admission. Then a space opens up on our admissions list. And so we move students from the alternate list in that ranking order. We never are able to give out the rank order. So if you end up on the alternate list, we cannot give that information out. But we do move students regularly from the alternate list to the admitted list. And unfortunately, if you're a second bachelor's degree student, due to university policies, we can't put second degree students onto the alternate list. If you're a second degree bachelor's student, you have to be admitted for that on that very first group of students because we can't put you on the alternate list. Last question, if applying as a transfer student, will high school grades be used in determining admission? The answer is no. Oh, sorry, one more question. What is the acceptance rate for the nursing program? We have a little bit of data on this, and then there's a question about direct entry. So the acceptance rate varies a little bit every semester depending on the number of applications received. I think in general, the acceptance rate is around 10% for the fall, and then in the spring, it's a little bit higher because we have slightly less numbers of students applying. So it's spring, it's about 13%. And so this data is only based on the applications that come to the School of Nursing. So it's actually probably a little bit lower on acceptance rate because the number of applications that come to the university is actually much higher because they only send us a percentage of the most qualified or highest GPA students from that pool of applications. But I think anywhere from in the fall, the School of Nursing receives approximately 800 to 1,000 applications. And then for the spring, it's a little bit lower, around 500, because just on admission cycles, we tend to get a bigger pool of people applying for fall versus the spring. And lastly, the second part of this question was, is this direct entry? And no, we're not. A direct entry usually means you're admitted directly into the School of Nursing as from the beginning, like as a high school student, first time freshman, you're admitted right into nursing. We are not a direct entry program in that sense, because even if you came to Cal State Long Beach as a pre-nursing student, you still need to apply to the School of Nursing once you have completed your prerequisite courses, which takes about 4 semesters or so to get your prerequisites done, 3 or 4 semesters. Okay, so finally, with that, If you have any questions that I have not answered in the presentation, the slides, or the FAQ, frequently asked questions, please feel free to email nursing@csulb.edu. I also refer you to our website. If you go to the Cal State Long Beach website, which is csulb.edu, you can search the School of Nursing. It will pull up all that information as well as the links to the Casper assessment and how to prepare for that test if you're going to be applying for the fall of 2025 or any semesters that are coming after that, because fall of 2025 is when we're starting the new process, which means right now, right, this October 2024, people applying for fall of 25 are under the new admissions holistic process. And then all of the groups that are coming afterwards will also be under this new holistic admissions process, which we are very excited about. Our intention in doing this was to make our program more accessible to a wider demographic, a wider community of students. We know that GPA is the easiest metric, the easiest method of coming up with applicants, or it's the easiest tool for admissions, but we don't believe it's the best tool. And most programs in nursing around the country are trying to figure out how can we be more holistic in evaluating applicants. It's not that people don't want to do this. It's a matter of what's the best way, given limited resources, human resources and staff resources, how can we best evaluate applicants? Because we know, I often tell students, sometimes this comes when students don't do well on their first test or on a test in nursing school. And I usually tell them, patients, I've never seen a patient who asked a student, or a nurse for that matter, can I see your transcript? Right? It's more than just the grades. I mean, grades and your academic ability and knowledge that you're acquiring and all of that is certainly important, but that's a piece of it. That's a part of it, right? So we're looking for applicants who are bright and motivated, but who really genuinely want to make a difference. And so that's, my hope, and all of us at the School of Nursing, that's the intent of this holistic admissions process. So I hope that was helpful. Again, feel free to reach out if you have any other questions. And thank you for joining us, and thank you for watching.